Hill and Thompson's original study looked at a sample size of 500 individuals with red hair, along with control groups, and found that 27.2% of the subjects were born with Mars within 30 degrees of their ascendant. This distribution was far higher than those found in control groups, with a p-value of 0.000001, a less than 1 in a million likelihood of occurring due to random chance. It seems extremely unlikely that the natal placement of the planet Mars near one's natal ascendant could be causing the appearance of red hair in any mechanistic way. Instead, we should understand these correlations as being a matter of synchronization, rather than of efficient or material causality. Clocks tend to be synchronized with the movements of the sun, but of course it is not the case that clocks cause the sun to move, nor is it the case that the sun's gravity moves the hands of the clock. Clocks synchronize with the sun's precessions because clocks are part of a living, breathing world of terrestrial human life, in which the correlation between the clock's internal mechanisms and the sun serves certain purposes. Analogously, we should understand that the planet Mars does not cause certain genetic mutations to occur, but rather it could be that these correlations are due to the fact that our world is wound up, as it were, in ways that facilitate such synchronicities. It is undoubtedly the case that life processes on Earth, human and non-human, accord themselves with the complex patterns of relationships which we see between the Earth, Moon, and Sun. If we understand our solar system as an organic whole, rather than as a maelstrom of arbitrarily related parts, then we can see that life on Earth is necessarily synchronizing itself with the patterns of the whole as it synchronizes itself with the Sun and Moon. Even if there are no mechanical causes through which the precessions of the outer planets might dictate precessions here on Earth, we may very well be indirectly synchronizing ourselves with those outer planets nonetheless by synchronizing ourselves with the elements of the whole which do have direct causal impacts upon the Earth. Similarly, it could be the case that as the collective unconscious of humanity came to be imprinted, as I have suggested, with the precessions of the visible planets, the patterns of the invisible planets came to develop within our collective consciousness as well, because of the manner by which those invisible patterns were implicitly nested within the patterns of the visible planets. The order of the visible planets, in other words, could only have been what it was if the order was part of a larger unity, which contained within it the order of the invisible planets as well. The outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, were not named by astrologers, and yet the symbolic connotations of their names does tend to accord in many ways with the significations which astrologers have come to attribute to them. This might seem to suggest that astrologers were simply looking for the patterns which they wanted to find in order to match the significations with the names. But we must also keep in mind that although these planets were not named by astrologers, they were named with symbolic relationships in mind. Moreover, not all astrologers believe that these names are necessarily the most appropriate. Richard Tarnas, for example, although I somewhat disagree with him, has argued that the planet Uranus is much more closely related to the mythical figure of Prometheus than the god Uranus.